Okay, the screen has changed over. Yep, and we have the mic working, I think. So, as the description of the video says, this is the first day in a technically 5-day series, not consecutive, but basically a 5-video series of where I go through each step of just planning a book. Basically, it's not going to be super in-depth. It's not going to be really that, you know, convoluted. It's not going to be the sort of thing that I imagine would work that well for a book that requires, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, months of like planning, you know, lots of side characters, lots of side plots, that sort of thing. But, you know, just sort of like the basic idea of the steps I take anyway. A cup of tea ready as well. So, day one is, so this program I've got open actually is a manuscript. It's completely free writing software. I've been using it recently, just testing it out as an alternative to Scrivener. And of the ones I've used so far, I think this is probably the best for me anyway. I've got it set to like dark theme, that's why it's mostly black and stuff, but yeah. So I'm going to be using this, but you know, you don't have to, as long as you can type into something, Google Docs, whatever, Notepad, anything's fine. Yeah, and up over here you'll see there's a timer. I'll be turning that on in a minute because this stream, it's not going to be very long, just day one. So yeah, anyway, in this program manuscript, all of these different parts are sectioned out. So this is the actual like word editor part, you know. You know, this is where you type your story, and you can look at an overview with a what's it called? I've lost my English. Flashcards, I think is the word I want to say. Yeah. But what we're going to focus on today isn't this. It's over here up here, these two. We've got summary and characters. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to summary. I mean, if you're not using this, then just, you know, have your first Word document open. And I'm going to write a 1 sentence or up to a paragraph, so like maybe 1 to 3 sentences premise. Not a summary of the story or anything, just like basically up here, the situation, or what if. So for example, if you were thinking of writing, planning out a romance or something, like what if, or like the story of, let's say, city girl moves to the countryside and falls in love with a farrier or something, you know. You're not actually going to be, at least I'm not going to actually be writing out what the plot itself is, or, you know, no character names, no place names, nothing like that, just the premise, just the, what's it called? Not the log line, the elevator pitch, I don't know. I can't remember the word. Yeah, so like a 1 sentence. So I'm going to write it up here in the situation, the what if. We'll get the timer started, I guess. Hey. Okay, so only about 45 minutes. It really shouldn't take too long to do what I'm going to do today. So yeah, it actually took me a while to decide on what story I wanted to do, because what I'm actually going to be doing in these videos isn't what I'm going to be writing next month for the actual challenge. That's going to be something that I've already got started, so there's no real point, you know, doing planning for that because it's all already done. So yeah, so I was thinking, do I want to do romance? Do I want to like start planning out one of my romance ideas or a horror idea or something? And I decided in the end on going with a horror story, an old one that I hadn't actually touched in a long time. So basically, my summary is, let's see, how shall I write this? So various groups of we'll say young people trying to survive the zombie apocalypse and find each other. Yes, it's a zombie story. I love zombies. I've honestly wanted to write a zombie story myself. I actually have written a couple of, you know, just short zombie stories in the past, but nothing really long form. Yeah, okay, so this is the situation, you know, it's very, you know, it's probably, generally speaking, when you write out just that one sentence premise, it'll probably sound like thousands and thousands of other stories that are out there, but that's fine, you know. Most stories, the very heart of the stories, they're all rehashed, they're all similar to things that have come before, and that's fine. It's what you do with it that matters. Yes, okay, so that's it. That's the first part of today's video. Done. You know, if you want, you can take more time to think about it, but what you really want to do is just think, what is, you know, what is the entire story about, you know? And it's actually can cover pretty much everything. Like, look, we've got the characters, even if you don't name them. So we've got our characters here. So various groups of young people. So we're showing that there's going to be more than one sort of main conglomerate group of characters, right? So we're going to have multiple points of view, obviously. And they are trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. There's our event, you know, the story, if you will. There's a zombie apocalypse and they're caught up in it. And find each other. Well, there's our goal, or at least their goal. You know, so, and that's sort of like the one main thing that you really want to keep in mind. Remember, as you go through the different stages of planning your story, no matter how you personally might plot or plan characters or story or whatever, that's sort of the main thing you want to keep returning to. Like, does this actually add up? Yes, so that's it. So that's our one sentence. Yeah, and another note on this program is actually, this summary part is actually pretty good because it's not the same as the snowflake method, but it does work similarly. So you have your situation here, and in this part you would write in a bit of a better summary, a bit of a longer sentence, I guess. And then once you've done that, you can go here and click on one paragraph, and it opens up a new box where you can expand from one sentence to one paragraph. And then you can do that again to one page, and so it'll take you to the next step, which is pretty useful. So you can, you know, keep your original sort of like summary there without actually getting rid of it. Yeah, but I'm not going to do that today. We only need this little premise. So next we are going to go to what is going to take up most of the time today, which is characters. So in manuscript you have a character section. I've already made one just to make it a bit easier. So you go down here to the plus sign, add a new character. Sorry. I've got strep throat. I've had strep throat for like, what, I'm on day 4 of penicillin tablets, so I'm sorry if I cough and splutter a bit. My throat has been giving me hell this week. Yes, anyway, yeah, so you make your characters, and here's obviously where you can put in all their information. You have the basic information. And this is a feature I really like. You can change whether they are a main, secondary, or minor character. So by default they're minor, but so we're gonna make this person protagonist, at least a protagonist. So they go up into the main character section. Yeah, and let's make a couple more because there's going to be a few characters. We'll say maybe 3 or so. Yes. So, generally speaking, I mean, most people probably have a vague idea of characters when they come up with a story idea. And so, originally, this zombie story I first came up with years ago, actually. It was originally going to be set in Australia, but I haven't lived in Australia for a very long time now, and so I've decided the setting's totally changed. It's going to be Japan now. That's where I live now, so just a bit more comfortable writing with that setting anyway. Yeah, so let's get into the characters. So how many characters, should you be planning first up? Like at the start of your planning process. Personally, I try to keep it to major characters. Or at least like characters that are named and appear multiple times. So for this story, I decided right now that I'm going to have 3 main protagonists. So all of these are our main characters. Now we need to give them names. Names are always a pain, aren't they? Usually I just bring up like one of those online baby name lists, like those maternity websites, baby name websites. And just scroll through names until I find one that I like. I don't usually name characters for meanings, like I don't usually think about what their name means so much. What I do think about though is like try to avoid too many characters with names that start with the same letter or all of the same length, that sort of thing. Yeah, and so this is one I've actually made in advance. So here we have my character profile, like the details that I personally would like to fill in. So this character, what shall we call this one? This character is going to be, what shall we name him? It's going to be a man, young man. Let's call him Kazu, because this is set in Japan, so they're going to have Japanese names. We'll just call him that for now. He's going to be roll-in story, so this is, whether they're protagonist, antagonist, whatever. So he's going to be one of the protagonists. So we'll just say protag number 1. Oops, there's a little bit of writing there. And so let's see, I want this guy to be a university student, college student. So let's say we'll put him in later college, so we'll make him like 21. Date of birth, this isn't really super important information at the moment, so I think we'll just skip that for now. one of the things to keep in mind for the very first time you're thinking of a character is to just sort of concentrate on the things that matter, at least to begin with. You can fill in other things, you know, the superficial stuff later on when it comes up, if it comes up. But, you know, like, generally speaking, a character's birthday isn't actually that important. It doesn't usually come up. Place of birth, depending on the story, it could. Let's see. So this story, yeah, you know, even though the goal at the moment isn't to write out all of your actual ideas, we're just focusing on character and stuff, you're going to use these thought processes as you're making your characters later on when you do your brain dumps, you know, when you do your world building, your planning of the actual story. So, you know, you're looking at this character and thinking, where do I want them to be born? Well, they're a protagonist and I want the story to be set, for example, partly in, let's say, Tokyo. So we'll make it that this character in particular is born in Tokyo, and he's also living in Tokyo. He is that's gender. I want this one. He is a male. He's Japanese because this is set in Japan. A normal Japanese university student. His job, uni student. Family. Okay. Let's think. He's going to have a mother, father, and one younger sister who is also going to be a character, so we'll keep that in mind. Personality, let's see, I don't usually actually, use or think of, you know, like famous people or actors or whatever as models for characters and things that I write. I don't think I've ever really done that, but for whatever reason, for this character, I just had this idea that I wanted him to be a bit like Mandy. There's this half Japanese guy in one of the exile subgroups here in Japan. He's really funny. I'm just gonna put in here Mandy so that I remember. First appearance in story. You know, I'm probably going to jump all over the place with this profile because I just tend to write things as they come, not necessarily in order. First appearance in story. I want this one. I want him to be the first point of view. So we're going to put him in chapter 1. Now here, goal, motivation, problem, and solution. This is very story-orientated, plot-orientated. So even as you're making your characters, you're going to be writing out things to do with world building or story, which is what you want to do. You don't want to literally just write, you know, their profile out and that's it. So let's see, goal. Goal, well, as I stated in the summary, we're going to have different groups of characters and their goal is obviously to get to each other, or what that would mean would be the people who are important to them, the people they want to be safe. So we'll say his goal is to, who shall we do it? Find and protect his family. Motivation, well, generally speaking, apocalypse, fiction, particularly zombies, obviously, and all that sort of stuff. The motivation, the motivating force is obviously to survive. So we'll just put that in there for now. Motivation to survive. Problem, so this means like what's stopping them from reaching their goal, obviously, because generally speaking, all good fiction has to have a conflict, which is just your character wants something and or needs something, but there is another something that is preventing that from happening. And that will be the problem. And for this, the problem is obviously carnage, destruction, zombies. So let's just put in something. So we'll say, obviously, zombies, breakdown of infrastructure. We'll say, what else can we put in here? Gosh, we're already at like under half an hour. We've still got a couple more characters to do. Zombies, breakdown of infrastructure, and we'll say general chaos. Okay. Solution? I don't really have a solution per se yet, so I think we'll leave that. And because we haven't made any other characters, we'll leave this bit blank, which is, I like to write out just a little bit to do with character relationships. You know, with characters that interact a lot, it's good to know sort of just a little bit about that relationship, even if it doesn't explicitly show up in the story, you know. Let's see, we'll go down here. Favorite genre of media. What sort of things does this guy like? I'm getting the idea, the impression that I would like him to be the sort of sporty type. Not super academically inclined, but not really an idiot either. We'll just, let's say, should we do something a little different? Say he likes rom-coms or something. Let's just go with that. Now, he likes rom-coms. Average daily routine. We'll say he gets up. What time would someone usually get up? University in Japan these days. Like, if they have an early class, it'd have to be like 7, something like that. Gets up at 7. Showers, goes to uni, studies, we'll say maybe 4 days a week, he works part-time. Where? What sort of job will it be? Part-time at a... I mean, the usual things like a convenience store or a supermarket. We'll say drugstore. Cool. Let's say afternoon, evening. We'll say he buys, let's say, supermarket dinners, you know, like the pre-made foods that are sold at like the delis and stuff in Japan. Buys supermarket dinners, goes home, eats, sleeps. He's not a very interesting guy. You know, this is the average, you know, like what the usual daily routine is, the usual thing. Average outfit of choice. I think we'll come back to that. Hobbies, secrets, we'll come back to that as well. And this miscellaneous. Oh, shit. I forgot to copy paste this into the other characters. Oh well. Miscellaneous is just, you know, details, like anything you can come up with. Anyway, let's just put these in here. Whoops, I should have done that. Before writing this stuff in, I always forget to do that. Delete, 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 delete. We can leave races Japanese. Most of the characters are going to be Japanese. It's the main characters. Okay. Gotta do it here too. Oh, God. Okay, and then next is we're going to do next character. So we're just going to really put in the most bare bones information, just the most basic information that will be enough to know who the character is, you know, when we're brainstorming and stuff. Okay, there we go, we've got it, haven't we? Yep, that'll do. Okay, character number 2. Well, we're going to name this one. So this is going to be Kazu's sister. What shall we name her for now anyway? You can always change names, you know, whenever you want, so. Let's call her... Hitomi. Okay, so I'll put her name in here too. Role in story, she is protag number 2. Now, she is going to be, she's the younger sister, okay, so she's going to be a middle school student, I'd say. We're going to make her 15. Date of birth, place of birth is going to be Tokyo. Place of residence, again, Tokyo. Maybe we should make, hang on, no, we're going to change this. We're going to change this for both of them, obviously, because they're family. To Kanagawa, which is prefecture beside Tokyo, like right next door. Place of residence be for her. I just changed my mind. I've decided that his big brother is going to be at school in Tokyo, but from Kanagawa. She is female, Japanese, job. She doesn't have a job. She's a middle school student. Okay, family again. Oops, mother, father, and older brother. Put this here in brackets. Okay, first appearance in story, she's gonna be... will we make her the second one to show up here? So we'll go chapter 2. Goal. Okay, so I've just decided, hang on, let's get down here. What's it called? Let's see. Tommy is taking part in the school. Can you call it a field trip? In Japan, they have school trips like once a year to other parts of Japan. Yeah, we'll call it a school field trip. Field trip to, it's usually places like Kyoto, Hiroshima, Osaka, Nara, historical places. We'll make it Kyoto. Let's take part in a school field trip to Kyoto when the shit hit the fan. Just put that in there. Let's see. Obviously the goal, it's going to be similar, but you know, motivation's just going to be, again, for now to survive. They're all going to be basically the same, at least for the start of the story. Problem. Now, this one's going to be a little bit different for this girl because I've decided, because I just had an idea. It's actually, I remember when I went on a school trip once, overseas actually. And I remember I didn't get sick. I fell down, like slid down some bus stairs, and I actually broke my tailbone. Oh God, it was so painful. And so I remember I actually spent the whole day that happened in the hotel room in pain. Couldn't go anywhere. And for the rest of the trip, it was so painful. But anyway, back to this. So what that has to do with this is that she is actually going to have, let's see, so first it's going to be that she, how do I wear this? Contracted gastro. I'm thinking, you know, for her, one of the things, at least at the start, is that she's actually gotten sick on this school trip. You know, she's left behind with a teacher or something at the hotel because she's ill, or she and a couple of the students are ill. You know, so when everything goes crazy in the outside world, you know, they're stuck in the hotel is sort of the idea. So she's contracted gastro, she's sick. Outside world is chaos. You know, she's far from home. She's far from her family. She's scared. Yeah, we'll put it like this for now. And her goal, I mean, the ultimate goal would be to get back to her family, I guess. Although that's a long way away. Yeah, we'll skip these interpersonal ones because we haven't really made enough characters to figure that out yet. Do we want to fill any of this in? Favorite genre of media? What sort of things will we say she likes? Let's say... I'm not sure. We'll come back to that, I think. Okay. Next character. Let's copy this. I'll make a couple more characters. So the next one is also going to be a main character. We want one more main character. So I'm thinking all of the major protagonists of this are going to be from the same family. So I'm thinking, do we want this to be mum or dad? Which? I think we'll make it dad. Okay, so we need a male name. What sort of name for a middle-aged man? Let's. I can't think of one. We're just gonna call him Dad. Dad for now. Go back up here. So for tag number 3, we're gonna make him. So let's see. The eldest kid is what, 21. So that means that, let's say he'll be at least, make him like about 48. Place of residence is kind of the same as the rest of the family, at least except for the older brother. Place of birth, it doesn't really matter to the story, but how about we'll make it Gumma. Just because. Okay, he's male. Job. Now I want this one as well. So we've got, let's say we've got big brother who is a university student. So he's going to be a university when everything happens. And then we've got the younger sister who's on a school field trip. And then we have Dad, and I want him to be like a medical professional, I think. But what sort? What sort shall we do it? So it's difficult. There's so many possible jobs. We'll just say, what shall we say for now? We'll say hospital worker for now. We'll come back to that. So we've got wife, son, daughter. Yeah. Okay. First appearance in story. We're going to make him chapter 3, I guess. I mean, this probably isn't actually the chapter numbers, but it's going to be like at least the order in which I want them to appear. So this one. Do we want him to be like right at sort of an epicenter, you know, because he's a hospital worker? Now his motivation, let's see. As what? As a medical worker? We'll say obviously part of his motivation is going to have to be to save his patients. Let's say help patients and eventually find his family. Oops, we want this one to be in goal. Motivation is obviously to survive. Again, we'll just put that in for now. Problem, again, it's going to be, let's see, chaos. Chaos, we're going to say quarantined inside hospital. Hospital. We're gonna say, what else? I'm gonna say he's quarantined inside the hospital. We're gonna say what was I thinking? It's just gone. Just totally disappeared. Whatever, we'll come back to that. And I think we're alright with this for now. Okay, so now these rest of these characters are going to be, I'm going to put these folks down into secondary. And we'll just make a couple of new folks. You can go down into minor just to have them there. Okay. Summary, not notes. Okay. Oops. I did it again, didn't I? Oh, God. I wish I should really make like a template or something so I can just copy and paste this every time. Oh, well. Get rid of these. Now. Okay, so the next couple of characters aren't quite as important. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna copy you again. Just fill this in. We don't have to do it later. Okay, now secondary characters. Who else was I thinking of? So we want, let's see, this guy. This is gonna be brother's friend, and there's going to be brother's girlfriend. Then here we're going to have, let's see, Hitomi's, what do you call them? Homeroom teacher. So he's going to be the one that is, what's the word? Keeping an eye on her in the hotel. And then who else do we have? Who else was I thinking of? Go. Nomi's friend. And then down here we've got more minor characters. I'm thinking, because we obviously need much more drama, there's going that dad over there is going to be having an affair, so we'll put here dad's lover, because that's just what we need, isn't it? Let's see, I forgot. We'll put this one back up to secondary. Hang on, I forgot to add in Mum. I mean, the chances are she'll move up to another main character later. But yeah, I think for now this will do for character numbers. You know, depending on the story, you might have many more characters. You might only have, you know, your handful of main characters. Doesn't matter, you know. You just want to sort of outline them, which characters you choose to outline, at least enough that you sort of know where they are in the story and what you want them to do is sort of the idea. So like here at least this is enough vaguely for me to know, like, okay, so he shows up first because of that he's going to be at university when it all happens, and that basically he's going to spend the story, at least some of it, trying to get back to his family, you know. Then Hitomi, so we've decided obviously that she's actually going to be sick, she's unwell and stuck in the hotel with her teacher, and so for at least part of the story it's going to be, you know, that's where she is, and that she and those with her are going to be trying to survive, remain safe within the hotel, or, you know, they're going to try and get to their friends, the other students. Right, so we got that. This is enough for me to do that. And then protagonist number 3, okay, we know he's going to be in the hospital. You know, he's going to be at work when things start going crazy. And that, you know, his part of the story, you know, he's going to be in a very different environment to the others, obviously. And that, you know, his goal, he's going to have a lot more of a sort of his responsibility. He's going to be a much more sort of character that needs to control the situation compared to the, you know, his kids who are in a much different environment to him. You know, so okay, we've got at least enough of that. And, you know, for like really minor characters, as long as you know, if you have names for them, fantastic. If not, as long as you know their what's the word? Their role. So, you know, we've got brother's friend, brother's girlfriend, so they're obviously part of his this guy, Kazu's part of the story. We've got the homeroom teacher and Hitomi's friend, so they're obviously part of her story. Mum, she's obviously going to be part of dad's story. You know, the parents, they're going to be part of that. You know, the girlfriend, she's obviously going to be part of that as well. So as long as you know where you can sort of separate the characters off into their groups, and you can figure out where they sit within your sort of idea of the story as you're coming up with it, you know, then you know, that's probably enough, because you'll find throughout the next couple of videos, the next couple of days, as this sort of series is essentially supposed to be like a 5-day rundown, that all of these blank spaces will start to be filled in when you go through the next parts. So, you know, next we'll be doing some world building outlining. You know, there'll be brain dumps, you know, idea dumping. You know, you're just going to sit there. So when we'll sit there and we'll just write, type, whatever, anything we can think of, story-wise, character-wise, whatever, and just vomit it all out. But yeah, so that's basically it. So that's it for day one, really. I'm okay with about this much, I think. Maybe we've still got about 4 minutes left on the timer. So what shall we do? I think, let's see. How about, yeah, let's add a little bit of personality for each of them. Okay, so yeah, Kazu, we'll do him first again. So, body type was on the which sporting club would he have been in school? We'll say make it rugby. Make him on the rugby team in middle school and high school. We'll say that he is friendly, sort of, and that we'll make him like golden retriever. Retriever energy. I don't really like talking in tropes, but you know, when you're in the sort of really early planning stages, it does help to get things concise, at least. My tea's gone cold already. Yeah, and what else? Friendly, yeah. That'll do. Okay, Hitomi, let's go. This girl, we're gonna say she's... What shall we say for her? I haven't actually really thought too much about what her personality might be. I'm thinking sort of average, not like super sporty, not super, what's the word? Bookish either. How would we describe her? I'll come back to that. Okay, Dad. I'm gonna say he's a bit of a bossy guy, I think. Okay, honestly, I don't actually want the dad to be the best person. Like, I don't want him to be awful, man. But, you know, a bit old-fashioned, maybe. Sort of old-fashioned. Yeah. We'll go with that. Go down here and we'll say, add in the bit that he's having an affair. He's having an affair, and we'll say, will this woman be having an affair with, is it going to be a colleague or is it going to be, nah. Let's say, ooh, we've only got like 20 seconds left on the timer. That's all right. Not a colleague. What have we got? A and from his uni days. We'll say they. Oh, cool. Countdown's finished. Okay. we'll say they met up a couple of years ago at a class reunion, and unfortunately hit it off. Okay, that'll do for now. Okay, that's it, you know. Obviously this video is pretty short, you know, it's not even an hour long, but it's enough. So, you know, if you have an hour that you can just sort of sit and just brainstorm out, you know, as long as you have your vague general idea of your pitch, basically, you know, your premise. You know, if you have an hour, you can come up with a couple of characters and the bare bones, at least, that you can fill in later, because that's what we're going to do in the next couple of videos. I'm going to start filling in not just the characters, but also the sort of setting, themes, events, and whatnot of the story. But yeah, that's it for day one. I hope it helped a little. I mean, I don't expect people to have to copy what I do. I'm not a professional. I am no authority on writing or anything. But yeah, you know, the main thing is to just use what time you have. You know, you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours. You don't have to sit at a computer all day and write, you know, the whole time. If you have 20 minutes, you know, you can sit there and you can come up with a couple of characters in 20 minutes. You know, and the bare bones will be enough to get you going. So this is going to be enough to get me going. For the next video anyway. Yes, thank you to anyone who is watching. You know, even if you're watching this as an archived video, I hope that it helps. I hope that maybe you also got some writing, some character development, some character ideas written down. But yeah, so until next time. So the next one will be 2 days from now. So not tomorrow, the next day. Depending, obviously, that's the live stream, obviously, not the video. If you're watching this in the video, then it's possible that all of them are already up. Yes, and so, yes, the next one will not be characters, but we will still do character stuff anyway. Yes, anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.